Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Green Card Doctor's Tip of the Week. In the next few minutes, since the beginning of the new year, and we all want to start out the new year right, I'm going to give you 5 tips on what you must not do when applying for an immigration benefit or if you want an approval. I'm immigration attorney Andres Mejer. Our office is in New Jersey, but we have clients in over 15 states and around the world. We are located in Eatontown, Newark, Edison, and Lakewood, although lately, thanks to COVID, everything is on Zoom. We upload our tip of the week videos every Friday here on YouTube. We also post other videos throughout the week and whenever there is breaking immigration news, which we expect to have a lot of good news this year for immigrants with the new administration, so stay tuned. If you'd like to be notified when something new happens, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell for notification. You'll hear it straight from me. If you need help with your immigration legal problems, call us. If we can't help you, we won't take your money. Today's tip of the week probably seems like an anti-tip. I'm not telling you what you should do, but I'm telling you what you should not do. Why? Because I know how confusing it is to apply for your own immigration benefit. I had to do it myself before I became an attorney, and then I've had to do it for the rest of my family. I know how frustrating it is to work with USCIS, and you think you do everything right, and then you would get a request for evidence or a notice of intent to deny, or worse, a rejection or a denial. And I don't want this process to be confusing or frustrating for you. I want your immigration process to be as smooth and as stress-free as possible. Mine wasn't, but maybe yours can. That's my goal for you and for all my clients and for those who watch my videos. Thank you for your support and your comments. I'm going to give you 5 tips to help you get an approval from USCIS for your immigrant benefit. Make sure to catch the last one because I see so many people making this mistake all the time. Tip number 5. So stay tuned. Tip number 1. Don't rely on your friend's experience or advice when filling your own application. You need to read the instructions and follow them for your application. You need to make sure you fill them out with your own personal information. There is a rabbit hole of information for almost anything online nowadays. Between YouTube videos or just articles on the web, we've seen people asking questions here and on other sites about what to do, what to say, and what results you'll have. And if you've done any research at all, you've seen those videos too. And then you've probably seen that people contradict each other in the comments on the bottom. One person says, hey, do this thing. Another person says, no, do something else. You're confused and you want to do something different altogether. But the only thing you should be doing is what USCIS or Department of State is asking you to do. And the only way to know that, besides letting an attorney handle it for you, is to read the instructions and follow them when you fill out your application. It is not simple. It is complicated. There are gotcha questions. When you read it, it's not going to be clear what they're looking for. I understand your frustration. Believe me, I feel the same way when I used to do my own taxes. Here I am, an educated individual. I was then, as I am now, an attorney. That means I have an undergraduate degree, a graduate degree, and I still couldn't figure out some of the tax issues. Ultimately I did, but now I don't do it. I have an accountant doing it, but it's just that complicated. Tip number 2, do not hire a notario, a paralegal, or a non-attorney to file your immigration case. I've talked about this before, but we still have people who come to us whose case has been messed up because they used someone who wasn't an attorney and didn't know immigration law. Just 2 days ago, I met a couple. She's from the Dominican Republic. Husband was from Cuba, but is a US citizen. And they swore 100% certain that, the person who helped them was an attorney and he's knowledgeable and he's good. And the more questions I asked, well, the filing was rejected multiple times. I said, wait, this doesn't make sense. You tell me an attorney did this? They sent the wrong fee. They sent the documents to the wrong place. They didn't submit, obvious supporting documents. What is this? I looked the person up. He's a tax preparer. He was not an attorney anywhere, let alone in New Jersey. He was not an attorney in any jurisdiction, never went to law school. He just was registered to do taxes. And this couple was waiting for 5 years to get their green card. Now, understand, husband's a US citizen, wife entered legally. That should take in a year to a year and a half maximum, because maybe she didn't get an interview because of COVID. But to file in 2016 and in 2020, now 2021, still not have an answer, that's a problem. And only because they went to a non-attorney. When you do that, when you go to a non-attorney, you have no protection under the law. You have no way of getting your money back or improve your situation. You made the choice to hire someone who wasn't qualified. And unfortunately, that also means you likely didn't invest the time and energy to figure out what you should do on your own. You trusted this person who didn't have the education or the experience, and you, since you were likely never been involved in this before, you didn't know that what they were doing was wrong. I have said before, you don't have to hire an attorney. You can file your own immigration application. That would be much better than to hire someone that isn't qualified or isn't capable. Because if you do it wrong, you have no recourse against that person. But more importantly, you've lost time and you've lost money. And sometimes it results in deportation, all because you didn't make the investment to get an attorney, and you didn't make your investment in your time to figure out what you needed to do. You instead took the easy route and the cheap way out, and you got someone that charged you a little bit but screwed it up. Don't let it happen to you. Tip 3, don't lie, don't exaggerate, don't misrepresent who you are or what has happened in your life. We have so many people that we have to help because they've done this. They think, oh, immigration will never find out. My friend did this and it was okay for him. It should be okay for me. Did you know that even after you become a US citizen, depending on where you live in the US, if you have found that you received your green card or your citizenship through fraud, which means you lied, it could be taken away from you. Agencies share information. I have been in interviews at USCIS with clients and been surprised by the information that's been brought up by the officer that my client never told me. That is not a position you want to be in. If you've hired an attorney, tell them everything. Be honest. It is much better to solve a problem before it becomes a barrier for you getting the result that you want or losing your time and or your money. The attorney is there to help you. It's a confidential relationship. They will not disclose it to immigration without your permission. If you're not honest with your attorney, the only person that gets hurt is you. We knew a couple that applied for a K-1 fiance visa. They said they had been so excited to see each other, they forgot to take photos. Now, this couple came to me after the problem. So they were so excited, they were together, they didn't take photos. When they filed their application to USCIS, they didn't have any photographic evidence of their trip. But instead of saying that or trying to fix it with new photos, they instead photoshopped pictures of themselves together to make it seem like the photo was reflecting what they were actually doing. USCIS saw right through the photoshopped images, and now immigration was suspecting fraud. And that's when they came to us to try to fix it. It's a whole lot easier to avoid those issues than to try to fix it after the fact. The thing to remember when you lie, you need to remember that lie forever. It is not difficult to lie. It is difficult to lie consistently. It's one of the reasons we never recommend it, because I don't need to remember what I said if I just know what actually happened. If I tell the truth, and as long as I remember it accurately, that's all I need to worry about. Because you're going to need to remember that lie from the meeting to the interview, to the questionnaire, to the application, to subsequent applications and subsequent interviews. I don't know about you, but I have a hard enough time remembering the truth of what happened in my life. I don't want to have to remember things that didn't happen, and neither should you. Plus, You don't want notes about that lie or a Photoshop picture in your immigration file forever. Tip number 4, don't take your frustrations and worries out on the workers, judges, or officers that you interact with. Did you know that immigration officers have so many cases they are processing that they may not even look at your file until the day of your interview or until they're meeting with you? That's not the way it should be, and it's not disrespectful towards you. It's just a fact of their life. There's not enough immigration officers for the volume of cases that are being handled. We know this entire process is super stressful. It feels like you should be able to do something to make it go faster. In addition, when you finally talk to a person, you may feel relief that you have someone to hear all your frustrations. This won't help you, and in many cases, it'll probably hurt you. Try your best to treat everyone you interact with at USCIS, in real life and on the phone, the way you would want to be treated. Be kind, be appreciative. Remember, they are people too. Tip 5, you got to listen to this one. Don't post what you don't want USCIS to know on the internet, including on social media. Be very careful what message or information you share with the world. I am shocked sometimes by what I see people post on Facebook. I see people who are trying to get a green card by marriage showing pictures that a man, that let's say the example of a man trying to get a green card through marriage, and he's showing inappropriate pictures with him and other women that are not related to him and are not his wife. I see people write about their crimes or lies to USCIS and ask if those crimes or lies are going to hurt their chances. You have no idea who is seeing that. You have no idea if that person who claims to be helpful and asks you direct message them is an ICE agent or a USCIS officer. Be very careful about what you share and whom you share it with. You have zero expectation of privacy on the internet. That means that if you share it, it is out there for anyone and everyone in the world to see. So there you have it. Top 5 things to avoid doing if you want approval for your immigration application. Don't listen to your friends. Read and follow the application instructions instead. 2, don't hire non-experts to do an expert's job. 3, don't lie. 4, don't take out your frustrations on people who work at USCIS. 5, don't share on social media anything that can hurt your case. If there is something you wonder, should I or shouldn't I do, say or tell, let us know anonymously, and we may talk about it in a future video. Thanks for watching, stay healthy, and be well.